Hello and welcome back to another video. We are going to be doing a multi-part series on basics of shadow work. After doing this entire series of videos, you'll have a very core understanding of shadow work, how it happens, what you can get out of it, and going through a bit of a transformation process. Now, this is a preview. I actually do one-on-one shadow coaching, and I do it over an 8-week period. And in this 8 weeks, we go very deep, very personal. I only take on one client at a time. There is a space opening. Keep an eye out for that. Check out my socials if you'd like to partake. So before further ado, let's get into it. And I'm going to teach you about the natural pattern. Now, every single child is born with a natural pattern, a unique, subtle, natural configuration. If you ask any parent, they'll tell you any single child that is born unique. They have unique characteristics, traits which make them them. No child is born with a blank slate. They're born kind of with an original song. It's like a sacred rhythm, a way of moving through the world that feels like they are always home in themselves. Now, some children are born very loud and boisterous. Some are born really sensitive. Some are really rebellious. Some are very obedient. But every child is different. Never better, never worse, just themselves being their real self in the world. But what happens is the world rarely meets them at their level. Often they demand correction. Now, this could be the parent telling them stop being so loud. This could be a teacher telling them to sit up and pay attention instead of doing art. This could be a child who gets socially ostracized because they keep asking questions which are very annoying for the other children. They get told messages like, don't be so loud. Why are you always asking questions? Stop crying. You're fine. Be like your brother. Can't you just be normal? Words like this have an emotional potency to a child that it doesn't for an adult. For an adult, we can hear these things and we've already established who we are, bounces off us. For a child, huge shift. They might cut off entire sections of their emotional state, their natural expressive state, to adhere to the world, to shape themselves to fit best in with the social dynamics which are being presented to them. Now, this has happened to you, it's happened to me, it's happened to all of us. But what happens when our natural tendencies, our natural expressiveness gets suppressed and hidden from us, cut off, severed behind layers of guilt or shame or fear? This is the situation that we find ourselves in now. Now, according to Jung, this is when a persona develops. The persona is a mask that we wear to survive in a world that doesn't welcome the whole us. To be loved, we contort ourselves. To be safe, we suppress ourselves. And in doing so, we're cutting pieces of ourselves away. And we go into adulthood, trying to find meaning, trying to find who we are in the world. And we're very lost. But the truth is, we knew from the very beginning who we were. We didn't feel incomplete. We felt whole. So if you have that echo, that feeling, I don't really know who I am, I feel like I'm missing something. This video is for you because it's going to show you exactly how that happened, why, and what to do about it. Now, the parts of us that we suppress in this process, they don't just disappear. It goes underground into the unconscious. Now, the unconscious is basically the parts of us that we can't mentally connect to. There's a separation. We can, but there's a cost. When you go into your personal unconscious, often you're actually met with some sort of emotional resistance. These emotional resistances are designed to separate you from that part because it's associated that with pain. It's associated it with a kind of emotional charge that to reconnect with that part of you threatens your survival. And over time, these parts which we've separated, they grow teeth. They get very dark, they get very dense, they get very difficult to connect to because of that emotional range. Now, if you have sat on these shadows for a long time, we can develop anxiety, we can develop social disconnection, we can develop anger, we can develop all kinds of emotional spikes that come out, which are not very healthy. And they're very good indicators that actually you've suppressed part of yourself for too long. If you're overcompensating in life, maybe you didn't know who you were and what you wanted to do in life, and so you dedicate yourself to making money, being very, very invested in success. You want the big house, the big car, the big family, because you didn't know what else to do. You don't know who you genuinely are. You don't know what your natural gifts are, and you have them. Every single person has a whole cascade of natural gifts, things that we want to do in the world, but if we don't know what those parts of us are saying, then we can't actually express this and we feel incomplete. We feel like ghosts drifting through the world, just trying to find that meaning. Now, what shadow work does is it brings you back in configuration with that natural pattern, with your essence, with your real self. So you feel whole, so you feel complete, so you feel like there's nothing missing. And when you have clarity on your life, that's how you know you're there. You're integrated. It's what the Jung talks about as individuation, a sense of wholeness, completeness. In that completeness, you can actually do far bigger things with your life. You can live a big life, and that's the work. So let's get into it. How do we actually connect with our natural pattern? How do we rediscover it? How do we put ourselves back together? This is a process of shadow work, which I'll be covering in the second video, and I urge you to watch that. What I'll be running you through is some of the practices which we can start stepping into the waters of doing the work. As we go through and do this shadow work, what you'll find is that your sense of balance returns. You'll find that your luck will increase. You'll find that your ability to speak confidently to others will massively increase, that your direction in life will become clear. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. We can't cover all this in one single video, unfortunately, because there is a bit to it. But if you work through these one by one, you'll start to get more and more clear. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.